Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hot Zone. I'm your host, Jason Robinson. And in the Hot Zone today, I've got a very special treat for all the ladies. I have got actor, producer, former model, and heartthrob, Boris Kodjoe. We're going to speak to him about his hit show on ABC Station 19 on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time about racism, Black love, all that and more. So stay tuned, because you're in the Hot Zone.
Sir, Warren's still in there.
Warren, I need you to get out of there now.
Better learn to get a handle on that one before he gets himself killed. That wouldn't be great for your chances with Dixon either.
And welcome back to the Hot Zone. We are joined by actor, director, former model, all-around entertainer, actor Boris Kodjoe. Welcome to the Hot Zone, Boris.
Thanks, Jay. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, man. Congratulations on Station 19 on ABC. I know it's on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great show. It's phenomenal. So congratulations to you on Boris.
Appreciate it.
You were born in Vienna, Austria, but you were raised in Germany. How was it like being raised and growing up in Germany?
You know, that was my life. So for me, it was normal. Looking back, I understand now that it was, anything else but normal. That, growing up as the only Black boy in the neighborhood or really in the city where I lived was challenging. I was bullied a lot, name calling, and you know how kids are cruel.
Yeah. So
I grew up with the sense, that there was something wrong with me. My mother tried to balance that out as good as she could. I played a lot of sports to sort of compensate for that, insecurity and to find, a sense of self.
Yeah.
So to be successful on the whether it's a soccer field or a tennis court was a cathartic sort of experience for me. It helped me overcome some of the issues that I was dealing with. Other than that, my childhood was great. We lived in a beautiful place in the Black Forest in the south of Germany, which is a really beautiful, sprawling sort of nature type place with mountains and deep, dark forests. And, it was a regular kind of childhood. And once I graduated from high school, that's when I accepted one of the scholarships to come here to the States and play tennis for Virginia Commonwealth for VCU and get my degree in business.
Growing up, I know your mother was white and your father is from Ghana, right? He's African from Ghana?
Yeah.
You had to face a lot of challenges, you and your brother, growing up facing a lot of racism. How is it different there, racism in Germany versus racism here? Or is it pretty much the same?
Racism is universal based on ignorance and fear. The difference was that in Germany, we didn't have a lot of Black people.
Yeah.
Which means that we were truly a minority. Here, it's almost like you have two different, almost societies, right? Where you have institutions that take care of some of the issues, social justice issues and equal rights issues that Black people are facing here, as we've seen over the past, 12 months repeatedly. The number of Black Germans is very, very small to this day. There was a lot of microaggressions every day. Yeah. People calling you names, touching your hair, laughing at you, because of this color of your skin, or a lot of objectification. So we had to grow up with a thick skin, right? Because this is what we were facing every single day.
Right.
And again, sports was a refuge for my brother and myself. He excelled in basketball, I did in tennis, and we sort of were able to release some of that aggression, some of that frustration that we felt on a daily basis.
Yeah.
On the court. Ironically, that sort of propelled us to a level where we were able to play college sports. He came to the States as well and played at VCU. He played basketball. It was a tough reality to face as a child because you don't understand why people treat you differently.
Yeah.
And it taught us a lot about ourselves as well as what racism looks like.
Yeah. When you hear stories like the story of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, they both did an interview with Oprah recently, and you heard that the royal family gave them a little drama and backlash that they were concerned about their baby boy Archie being born with darker skin. When you hear stories like that, like how does it make you feel when you hear stories like that?
Well, it's terrible. It's really terrible. Again, I understand it because I lived it, right?
Yeah.
I lived it because I was faced with it every single day. You know, walk into a classroom of all white students, and I'm the only black face.
Yeah.
Walking into a restaurant at home, I'm the only black person.
Yeah.
Where I went, I was always the only black person. So there was a lot of attention that I got, the wrong kind of attention. I was discriminated against. I was attacked. I was subjected to a lot of that BS that they referred to in their interview. I think what's tough in terms of Meghan and Harry is that it was their own family.
Yeah.
Right?
You did come over to the States and you went to Virginia, and you were talking about how you were a great tennis player. I mean, you got scholarships and everything. So do you think that Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi was lucky that you didn't enter the tennis world, because they probably wouldn't have been on top reigning the game as long? Is that what you're telling me, Boris?
You can always dream. Yes, I got a lot of respect for these guys. They've done an amazing job. They have had incredible careers, both of them. You know, tennis was my life, and it was my dream, and I was going to be #1 in the world. I had all these plans, and it didn't pan out that way.
Okay.
But looking back, I don't have any regrets. I would do the same thing again. So I'm not mad at all. I'm actually, you know, I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed that I've been able to carve out this path, or walk this path that was carved out for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you today.
Well, you know, that's what I was thinking myself. Boris. Like, one profession's loss is another profession's gain. And then you went from the tennis world. I think you hurt your back. Is that what happened? You hurt your back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think your not your biggest role, but I think the role that you're most known for is Soul Food, Showtime's Soul Food. Now, you were on that show with your then co-star, Nicole Ari Parker, and she later became your wife, obviously. Tell us about that show. Like, how did you get that role, and how important was Soul Food for your career?
It was my entrance into the industry. It was my first real experience of a life on set. I learned a lot from, you know, Nicole. I learned a lot from all the cast members who became family.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from Felicia D. Henderson, who created Soul Food and who gave me a shot. And I spent a lot of time on set, just roaming around and talking to people and figuring out what the DP does, and hanging out with the gaffer and talking to the producers, and because I was genuinely interested in finding out about the industry.
You are now back on television in the hit show on ABC, Station 19. It's on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those who don't know about the show, tell us a little bit about it and about the character that you play.
Station 19 is a popular spinoff of Grey's Anatomy that is on the same night. That's why we're doing so many crossovers with the Grey's Anatomy cast. It's about a firehouse in Seattle, Station 19, and a group of firefighters that is very diverse. They're on the front lines every day, you know, battling fires and saving people's lives. It's been a great experience for me. It's been so much fun working with this incredible group of people, and I hope it's going to go for a long time.
Yeah, I was wondering, how did you get the role? So you just auditioned one day and they said, "Hey, Boris is our guy." Like, how did that pan out?
I had done a show on CBS called Code Black, which was a medical show, and I played a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And the show came to an end on a Friday. We found out on a Friday that we were not going to be continued, and I had a meeting with Betsy Beers, who runs Shondaland, on Monday. So they asked me to be a part of the show on Monday. Mm-hmm. I finished on Friday, and I was super lucky to have a meeting with them on a Monday, and became a part of that show immediately. So that never happens. So for you, this is not how it usually goes. So I got lucky.
Your talent shined through, man.
To be able to jump from one show to the next. 3 in a row now. I did Last Man on Earth, and then Code Black, and now I'm doing Station 19. So it's been a great, knock on wood, it's been a great run. Oh, there was also House of Cards in between. That's right.
Yeah, right.
So to be a part of all these different shows on different networks and surrounded by so much great talent, I'm truly blessed to be able to be a part of that. Hopefully, it's going to go much longer.
Tell me this now. I know you obviously, we've all have a great respect for our frontline workers, our policemen, our firefighters, obviously, but have you gained any more respect for firefighters being involved in Station 19?
Absolutely. I've always respected our frontline workers and our firemen and firewomen. But to go through the training and to wear the gear and feel the weight and understand the tremendous dedication and commitment it takes to do this day in and day out for other people, it's just a tremendous feat. So I have so much respect. We live in a state that suffers from the effects of wildfires, right?
Yeah.
So in California, every year there's wildfires, and the amount of discipline, commitment it takes to go into these wildfires and to battle every single day for weeks and weeks and weeks. It just takes a special type of human being. And that's exactly what they are. These firefighters are special human beings. And I'm tremendously honored to be able to play one of them.
You were voted people's 50th most beautiful people. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was like back in the late 60s.
Yeah. Do you think
that's a tragedy, isn't it?
Well, I believe so. So my question is, do you think that People magazine made a horrible mistake by never voting you the sexiest man alive?
I don't think People magazine made a mistake, honestly. I wouldn't be as this presumptuous. No, absolutely not.
So let's speak about this. I want to speak about Black Love now. Is it your 16th anniversary with Nicole?
Yes, 16.
Yeah, that's amazing. Speak about Black Love and about your relationship with Nicole, because you see so many relationships, especially in Hollywood, that come and go, but you and Nicole have kept your love so strong. You've kept the bond throughout 16 years so strong. And what's the secret, or what's your formula for the success of your marriage and for the success of Black Love in general? I'm
not an expert. We're not experts. We take each day at a time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges that we are faced with every single day, being married and having 2 children.
Yeah.
Children change the dynamic of a relationship immediately. So it becomes so much more difficult when there's 2 kids at play. Overall, first of all, I'm married to the most amazing woman on the planet. I give her all the credit. I'm perfectly flawed, like many other people. I think you have to be insanely stubborn and dedicated not to give up. It's easy to turn away and walk out the door when it gets hard. When there's challenges and when there's adversity, whether it's in our case, a child with special needs, or there's a million different challenges that couples encounter, just like individuals. And I think the key is to never give up.
Right.
You have to apologize, you have to forgive, you have to grow, you have to learn, you have to listen, you have to communicate better, you have to look deep inside yourself, you have to figure out your childhood traumas, right? You have to figure out your patterns, your garbage, if you will, that you bring into the relationship, right? You have to work continuously. You have to work on yourself continuously, and you have to turn towards each other, not away from each other. That's one thing I learned, that in times of great challenges, you have to turn towards each other, and not go for the door, right? And I think that has really been a thing that we have learned, that I've learned for sure, is that in times of trouble, you look to each other and you hold on, and you don't run for the hills, right?
Yeah, right.
And I think if you do that, you give yourself a great opportunity to create something special.
So now, obviously, you work with Nicole as well. Tell us a little bit about Gym Wrap that you are doing with Nicole, and you also have Co-Fit with your brother, right? Tell us a little bit about both of those business ventures.
Well, Gym Wrap started about 8 years ago. My wife had an idea how to solve a real issue, a real problem, especially for Black women who were put in a position where they had to make a choice between their health and their beauty, right? Their hairstyle. Nicole came up with the Gym Wrap, which is this 3-layered a headband, sweatband that has a Evapotech technology that wicks away moisture and then lets it evaporate to the outside. And it gave them an opportunity to be able to work out, but at the same time protect their hair. And that has grown over the years and become this sort of cultural
phenomenon.
It was a phenomenon in a way, yes, in our culture. And last year we were able to manufacture masks when the pandemic hit. And she said, "Look, we can make masks." So we did, and we gave away almost $1 million worth of masks to first responders and essential workers across the world, which was a great initiative that everybody supported, and we're so thankful for that.
What about the Co-Fit app?
Well, it started with my brother, who's a fitness enthusiast, who's a trainer and nutritionist, and we figured out a way how to share simple and effective tips on health and fitness with our community, especially in this pandemic.
Yeah,
nobody can afford gym memberships or equipment, so it's just a way to introduce some healthy habits into a family's life. There's so much information out there that's misleading. Across the fitness industry as well as the diet industry, really.
Right.
That we wanted to keep it really simple and help people just feel better on a daily basis. And you can do that. You can start with 5 minutes.
Right. Okay.
And I mean, we do it at home, right? We go downstairs, and my son is an athlete, and my daughter does yoga, and we do breath work. And the pandemic has shown the mental health effects of a situation like this, where people are isolated, they're lonely, they can't interact anymore, there's no social interaction. It creates depression, it creates a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
Meditation in the morning, when you do your morning prayers or just stretching or breath work, there's a lot of things that you can do as a family, and you can teach your kids that. Yeah. To create a foundation of mental health strength, right? Solid foundation that helps you in situation like a pandemic,
right,
where people are left to their own devices.
Your family, and I think a lot of families, I think this pandemic actually brought them closer together. They talked more, they spent more time together, which was great. They watched movies, they watched their health, they exercised, they ate right together. So kind of that's the silver lining, I think, for this whole pandemic, don't you think?
We have to tread lightly around that, because there's just too much devastation that's taking place. It's a really difficult time right now. And I hope it's going to get better quickly. I hope that we can, as a country, come together, and as a government, now that the clown is out the White House, to support those who are the most vulnerable amongst us, because that's what a democracy should be about. Social democracy, I like to say, because we want to take care of some of those very basic human needs that we have, whether it's shelter, food, employment, or education, as well as healthcare, right? So hopefully we can figure that out as a country, because right now there's way too many people suffering.
I do believe, and I do see light at the end of the tunnel. So definitely prayers for that. Congratulations to you on everything that you've been doing in your career. I'm looking forward to seeing Station 19 on ABC on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great show. congratulations to you on the success, and I wish you nothing but the best in the future, Boris.
Thank you so much, Jason. It was a pleasure to be with you. I appreciate it.
Everything okay?
Andy, I think it's best if you go.
Oh.
Hey everybody, I'm Boris Kodjoe and I am in the Hot Zone.